What up, YouTube? We back at it again. Welcome to Wednesday. It is 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's where I live. Um, I'm waking up. I'm doing some DAX. I got sent this via IG. To be a man. This is months old. I don't think this is this years old. Let me check. I don't know. It looks like it's like April. Okay, so we got a few months on this. I'm a little late. Um, do me a favor, if you're new to my channel. If you're not new to my channel, run over to Dax's page. Please support this man. Subscribe to his content. Very talented, very versatile from what I've seen. Um, does a lot of different, can weave a lot of different styles. Not just a rapper. Um, and he puts a lot of meaning and a lot of passion into his work, which is cool because it's you when you're getting content from somebody that creates something that makes sense rather than just picking up a script somebody left you and like, all right, I'll sing about this. Um, and if you like what I do, please like over there, comment down below, subscribe. Good morning. Let's go, Dex.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road.
It's weird. He almost has like a country twang, um, but he's Canadian. He grew up in Ottawa. Um, but it almost sounds when you sing soulful songs like this, and that coupled with visuals, I don't know, it gives me country feels.
And they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you down. You wanna scream, but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding, but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, that we can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional loves for women, children, and dogs. We know that we just have to play our parts, and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is. I'm not gonna pause this too much. I was expecting him to rap, honestly, because that's what I've been seeing him doing lately. But which he can do really well. There's a little different side to him. Um, So it's weird. Last night I kind of finished my night. I did like a power song for females. This is more of like an appreciation song for men. Yeah, it's weird because as men we sort of a lot of times expect to be kind of underappreciated, and we're usually fine with it. And we do internalize a lot, just because it's pride. You're expected to be the provider. So if you don't live up to that, or if you feel like you're not to a certain extent, or if there's any shortcomings in any, that's always on you, and that's always in the back of your head. You're not going to share that with anybody. You're not going to talk about it with your partner. You're just going to get out there and try to do better. Um, and I think that's a struggle that a lot of men have. I'm not personally a father myself. I don't think Dax is either. Not that he can't relate or sing about it. I'm just saying like I personally can't put myself in the shoes of that level of stress, having to have to provide or have so many people dependent on myself besides myself. Um, Part of that's choice, part of that's circumstance. That's just cards you're dealt, life story. But I think that in a the but what I was getting at was just a lot of men sort of they carry very heavy hearts, because of that, and it leads to, like you saw, things like burying yourself in a vice. It could be drinking, it could be or finding distractions to supplement the pain that you feel, so that you don't have to talk about what you're dealing with. You can internalize it, and you can find ways to cope with it. So we as men sort of are molded to have thick skin, and this is more of like this is a more old school kind of take on that. I think that's progressed a little bit as time goes on, as far as like your sort of your new age man being a little bit more sensitive to those things, and people being a little bit more sensitive as far as like how genders can sort of coexist in relationships or in families. So I think it is. I think it's evolving with, but to the same point, it's you're not kicking centuries on centuries of expectations and stigma and weight of generations on generations of how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a man, in any environment. Sorry for that was a diatribe there. I probably don't need to talk a lot for the rest of this. So my apologies.
Man, we gotta pave our way. Our only function is to work and slave. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. You're disregarded as a human and you can't complain. And if you ever make it up and actually reach that base and find a woman that you love and give her your last name, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say, I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man.
See, I don't know about that the end of that last verse. I think it's hard to blanket or generalize females in a sense where all they're expecting out of you is what you provide. I think that by and large, females, the majority hopefully are they're not just looking for, somebody to a dependent for their kids, and a paycheck. I think it's more than that. That it's there's emotional connections involved and stuff like that. I think that there's something to that, in a sense where what he just said, like you'll find that you're just a box of expectations essentially in a nutshell. But I think there's more to it than that. Like when he said like somebody that you gave your name to, I think that there is love that exists that is reciprocated, and can be equal in relationships. But I see where he's going. That a lot of the times it feels like that because, like he said, like you have to internalize. You're not really allowed to cry. You have to be that. You have to be made of steel, and there are expectations. So I don't know.
It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon. And our father's actions play a role and we end up like them. So they can't let us see them hurt, cause we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed, all the things that they can't.
And that's another thing when you talk about kids. Now your focus is, now your focus is on being a role model, and that's as much as you think that that's something you're kind of inherently born with. As you grow, you sort of take on those responsibilities, and what you're doing. You don't. That's something you got to learn, and it's trial and error with stuff like that. But to the point that I brought up earlier, if there's children involved, then you definitely have more of a responsibility to not show weakness, or at least that's what's embedded in the mindset of a man, right? Just because you want to be a fucking superhero for your kids, so that they have something to look up to that is positive and can help them grow as well. So you can't show weakness at all.
And express, they go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health, then grab that bottle and ask for help, try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do it themselves. It's the circle of life. As a man you provide, they don't know what you're worth till the day that you die, and that's when they start crying, then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves. We don't expect you to understand.
It's funny. We hope we can explain what it's like to be a man. We all can. We won't.
And you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home.
And to that point, it's not about that that men can't, don't have the ability to, or won't articulate their feelings or share their feelings. Is that it's that they will they will politely and proudfully decline. Um, that's just kind of how that's just how dudes work. Um, if there's ever shit going on, it's nothing that we can't deal with. We'll work it out, and that's probably something that should change. But I mean, it'd be nice if men were. I don't think it's. I wouldn't say more in touch with their feelings, but more open. Um, there's a lot of men that are very in touch with their feelings, but you would have no idea because they won't tell you about it. So because for one, it takes a proud man to open up like that. For two, it's nothing that they can't deal with, right? Um, so and it's that vulnerability which makes you not a superhero. It makes you human. Um, and men aren't satisfied being just human. Too competitive. Got to be better. Um, in all walks of life. I'm not just that's just used saying figuratively. But anyways, dope. No, I like that a lot. I think the expectations of man have changed over time, as far as what's sort of expected, or there's maybe you look over time, the primary, um, the primary reason for a man's existence. It starts with hunter gatherer. He leaves in the morning and comes back with food, and you know and then there's functions. I think that functions are changing in the sense that they're not as gender specific. I think that um, it's a little bit more progressive of a culture, and that's evolving over time, with regards to labeling functions by gender. It's more so finding a balance, with what are you good at, what am I good at, what can we be better at together, and but to the same point, there's always going to be that pride instilled in any man, um, and that's why a lot of men are fucked up in the head because they just refuse refuse help. And you ask any guy, myself included, can think of a situation or many where they're guilty of that, and it hasn't helped anything, but they probably wouldn't change it. Um, but anyways, that's all I got on to be a man. Um, it's like that track out of Mulan. I'll make a man out of you. It's a perfect way to end that, right? Like if you like, please comment down below, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next.